All right, welcome to the Rhesis demo. Very happy you're here. I'm excited to show you in the next few minutes what we've built, how Rhesis works, and how other teams are using this to test the LLM applications and agents. So let's log in and jump right into it. You start by seeing the dashboard. The dashboard gives you an overview of what recently changed, newest tests, updated tests, but also it shows you recent test runs and new test sets, and a few statistics about what you got. First, you would start with a new project. So you would create a project that is specific to the application that you would like to test. And to connect your application, you will need an endpoint. Each endpoint is connected to one application. We support REST and WebSocket endpoints currently. And you can have multiple environments per project, so that during development, staging, testing, pre-release testing, and later in production, you can also validate that it works as expected. Once your application is connected, it's a good moment to bring in other team members if you want to test this collaboratively with other domain experts, stakeholders. Now is the time to invite them. Just enter their email addresses and they get an invite into their inbox. Once that is done, we always recommend to upload relevant files. So whatever is relevant to later, create the right test cases for you. These can be training materials, compliance documents, support guidelines, whatever there is that is specific to your application and your testing scenario. Upload it here. We support files of all sorts, different file sizes, and then we can use them as additional context during test case generation. Now, that being said, let's jump into the core of the application, which are the test cases. So here you see a list of all of the test cases in our demo environment and specifics around those test cases. So a split by behavior, topic, category, so you can see where you might need additional test cases. Currently, we have too many in the reliability behavior and not enough in robustness and compliance. If you want to add new test cases, you can use 3 different ways. We have templates provided that help you generate test cases for different aspects. Always happy to expand them if there is something missing. You can write them manually in a table-based view where you're just adding a test case per line, and then you write the prompt, you select the category, the topic, the behavior, or you add new ones, and then if you want, you can also have expected outputs. All right, and there is a third way, which is using AI to generate your test cases. For this, you first select the project. The project describes the context again, so our solution can better generate the right test cases for you. You can then describe what you need, like simple insurance questions from leads. And you can have select documents that are relevant as part of the generation process. You hit generate, and then we are creating a new configuration and to generate your own tests. And in a minute you will see how they look like and how you can manipulate the configuration that has been drafted for you. So here you see a proposal of behaviors, topics, and categories, but you can always say, well, I don't need compliance, I don't need data privacy and security, but I need this and this. And you can also say, I don't need this and this, and that's okay, to further refine what you need and make sure that the test cases are specific eventually to your testing needs. You will also see that we have a bunch of samples here. You can vote on them, whether you like them or not. This helps us to better understand also what tests you're looking for. You can get live responses from your application. So you can say, okay, I need live responses from this application here with this particular endpoint, And then we're sending the calls to your application, load the responses, and you can see, okay, this is how my application would respond to this particular test case. If you're not happy, you can also always provide feedback, send, we refine the test case. And once you're happy with all of the samples, you can move on and say, okay, I want to confirm this and say my test set. Agree on the size that you would like and then generate. And that's then being handled by our worker, and you get an email once the test set is ready. Now let's look into the test sets that we already have. So I created one for simple insurance questions previously. This contains topics all around this, all the way from policy discovery, policy termination, insurer types, etc. You can see that I added one document here for specifying the context, and these are all of the test cases associated with the test set. And you can always click into them if you want to know more details. Now, if you want to execute this, you can do this up here. So you just hit execute test set, select the project again, the endpoint. Now you can agree or select whether you want to have parallel execution or sequential. That depends on what kind of load your endpoint can accept. Now, once you completed the run, you will get an email again, and you can then see all of the results here on this screen. Yeah, so this shows you all of the test runs by status, by result, how many passes, fails you have, some statistics basically. So let's go into one of the test runs. So here you see we executed 50 test cases. Only 10% of them passed. It took a minute to execute, and the test run is complete. This was the test set that we executed. And essentially here on the left, you can scroll through all of the tests that you have executed, and on the right, you see details about the execution. So what was the prompt and what was the response? Now, you might want to understand, why did this fail? Okay, it failed because of this metric, but all of the other metrics passed, and you can read the reasons why it passed. And then you can look deeper into, okay, why was this particular test case failing for this metric? Now, let's look at the past one. You can see, okay, it passed in all metrics, and you get individual reasons why it passed. Now, in case you disagree, you can write reviews. We will do that in a minute, to indicate that you're not agreeing with the automated review. And that helps if you're reviewing collaboratively, because then each reviewer, you and your teammates, can each leave a review on the test cases that they are not agreeing with the automated review. You can also see if this test was executed previously, and you can go into each of the test runs. Now, if you have any tasks or comments that you would like to associate to this test, then you can also do that, or this test results more specifically. And that helps to build a to-do list around things that need fixing. We also offer a table-based view, so you can quickly go through this, and you can say, okay, I confirm this automatic review with my manual review, or I can also again say, nah, this is in fact passed for reason X, Y, that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it passed. And then what you see is that there is a conflict in the review. So the automatic review said it failed, but I as a human said no, it passed. And then you can resolve all of these cases and work further along them. We also have a side-by-side comparison view. So if you want to see how did this test run compare against another one, you can have all of the prompts and the responses next to each other, and then you can look at the conflicting ones. So you see here, so we can select improved. We see this one previously failed, now it passed, but we can also go the other way. These previously passed, this time they failed. And then we can go into the details and check, okay, what is it that this time failed and why? Maybe you have adjusted the system prompt that now led to this metric failing. All right, you can rerun them obviously also from here. Like if you made changes in development, in your development environment, you want to rerun it, just hit the rerun button to do that real quick. So let's move into test results. Test results gives you an overview of all of the test runs in an aggregated manner. So you can see we have a total of 10 test runs here with this many total test results, the overall pass rate. So if you're running multiple test sets that are covering different things, you need that aggregated view, and this is what you get on this screen. Now here, that's the task section. This lists all of the tasks that you have associated to test or test results and who's assigned to this. You can create new tasks, but you can also go into them and from here jump into the respective test to see what was really going on and why do I need to revise this. One topic that always comes up is how do I measure my tests against which kind of metrics? This is why we have a metrics directory added to our solution. This draws from different open source frameworks and includes also our own Rhesis metrics. So here in the selected metrics, you see how you have metrics assigned to individual dimensions and behaviors. And you can easily switch them by just removing them. Or what you can also do is just create your own LLM as a judge metric, and you can describe it here using an evaluation process. So you can select which model is doing the evaluation, what's the evaluation prompt. You can add multiple steps, reasoning instructions, and define how you would like to see the result being specified. All right. I think we haven't looked at the models yet. So we do support all sorts of models. You can decide which model is doing the test case generation, and you can decide which model is doing the evaluation, as we have just seen. And we have support for all sorts of providers. The only thing that you need is an API key, and then you can start using them. But what you can also do is you can have your own custom fine-tuned LLMs if you believe that they are more suitable in your particular use case, and then you can also connect those. Finally, if you want to use the API, you can create API tokens and use our SDK and make use of the functionalities that we have available there. That being said, I think we are at the end of this short demo. If you have any further questions, please reach out, and we're happy to learn more about what you're trying to test and what your current testing challenges are.